Okay, I'm back at the house. Well, I'm getting my videos confused. This is going to be the first video on the 68 Mustang. I've had this car since I was 15. It was a motivational present for me to stay off drugs and graduate high school. Depending on how you look at it, I did both of those. Weed's legal now, so technically I don't do drugs. Anyhow, let me flip this around. This is what we're doing today, and I got home. I've been doing a lot today, so I was a little overzealous, but pretty simple if you've ever changed a tire. Other than I'm in the mud, and it's just kind of a pain to do all this in this tight garage. We're gonna get that really bad tire off. The rest of them have held air, even though they're like 15 years old. So for right now, I'm just going to change that one, but I've got another 3 over here that came off my car that as they pop, I'll probably just throw these in the seat. This thing's going to get stored with a tarp on it for a while. This was my first car. Let's do a run through. Yeah, let everybody get to know this. There's been a cat staying warm in here apparently. All right, so this is a 289. This used to be a chrome air cleaner and valve cover kit that I special ordered and installed. It's one of the first things I did myself on this car. But what happened over time is I had a leaky radiator, and I was broke at the time. I was a youngster. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just kept putting water in it. And then living in Texas, that's not always a huge issue. You go there. Get in your home. It's not always a huge issue, but it did freeze, and it blew my freeze plugs out. And I've never had the ability to pull this motor, and you have to pull the motor to fix them. So at this point, it's sat that way for about, I don't know, 10 years or so. I want to say close to it. So it needs a new motor. The transmission's fine. I'll eventually need to probably redo all the brake system, clean the fuel tank. There's going to be a lot of your basic bringing a car back to life stuff. So that's what we're dealing with there on the engine. And you see, like, watch this hood. I had this thing is sat outside for so long. There's some major issues. That should not be able to put my hands in like this. This is supposed to sit flush, so a lot of things have rusted, a lot of things have had issues. Still got original seats, and it actually still smells the same way it did the day I got it. The interior is, that carpet has always been not very good, and I know y'all can't see much, but a bunch of water bottles in here. I had big plans when I was young about building a house out of water bottles, so I'm still paying for that. They're hanging around here. And some parts. There's probably the old air cleaner and an old carburetor. It's funny, there's still some things from high school in this car, but one of these days I'll get it back up and running. But the main focus right now is get it rolling. I'm gonna have a tow truck here tomorrow, and we're gonna get this guy drug out of here. That's what it looks like. I love this car. I don't think I could ever let it go. It's the first car me and my dad worked on together, and I've learned a lot since then, so I'm kind of glad I still have it. I know how to fix a lot of it until you get into the metal bodywork. And fortunately, I think the place I'm dropping it off is actually the guy that lives next door. Couldn't have planned it better, but I think he does metal bodywork. So once it's over there and I'm done with moving and everything, I'm going to talk to him and see, what he thinks, what I can do. Because real quick, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but when they made these cars back in the day, you can't really see the rust. It's actually on the other side is where it's the worst, but they bondoed over rust when they sold this car. So there's some spots like right there on the door. The door's not a huge deal. You can find an old one and get a replacement door. Now, what's a problem is when you look, if this fender gets rusty, well, that's this whole back panel. It's actually this whole roof piece over to the other side, all the way up to the front here. That's all one piece. So once that piece gets ruined, I mean, you're basically missing your car. They're fixable. It takes a certain skill that I've never learned, and you can always bondo, but I'd really like to get it done right, because that's why it's showing up on me. But this little lady, old Bulletproof as I used to call her when I was a kid, because I didn't feel like it ever quit running or ever quit doing anything. I did some crazy shit running around as a youngster in this car. I mean, the last time it was inspected was 2011, so it's been a long time. But right now, we've got her jacked up. I'm gonna get this tire pulled so I can go first thing, and once I get it pulled off, throw it in the car. They'll put me a new tire on. We should get this rolling, and then that opens up me the room to move out of this place, which is a whole nother set of videos. But this is Mustang part 1. Not a lot of work going into it. I'm not really going to show y'all how I take a tire off. There's no sense in it, but got to start somewhere, huh? All right, y'all have a good day. I did want to add one funny thing that I just realized as I broke these lug nuts loose. It's funny how they used to make things not to be so problematic. This car has had the same rim, tire, and lug nuts on, well, probably since 2011 at least, which is at this point 11 years. My Cobalt, my phone's the other way. My Cobalt back there, I went to change a tire on that thing, and I actually snapped 3 of the 4 studs just trying to change a tire on it. So I had to replace the whole hub, everything, and this was all for a flat tire. This thing's been sitting this way almost as long as that car's been alive, and they came right off. I even jacked it up too early, and I was like, oh man, you're supposed to do that with it down. Granted, my hubs are so locked up that I'm sure that's helping me, but I'm not even fighting with it. It just came right off. Just a little side note too. Well, there's a reason I keep so much old shit around. It all works better. That new car saves me a fortune in gas, but I tell you what, every time I've worked on it, it's been a pain in the ass. So anyway, y'all have a good one. Okay, well, first issue, got it off. It's been a long time. I forgot. These are 14-inch rims. So now, I mean, I guess I've got 4 spare tires for my Cobalt, but I'll have to buy a tire at the tire shop tomorrow, and I'll have to cross my fingers that they fucking have a 14, because well, they don't always make those. They don't make them very often anyways. If I'm not mistaken, I used to have problems finding tires for these rims because 14 is smaller than most stock, like my little Cobalt's a 15. So anyway, I'll get that worked out tomorrow. I'll probably add to this a little bit, maybe edit this up a little bit where I'm not talking so much, but yeah, this is the first one on the Mustang, and we're running into a problem or two, but nothing can be figured out. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna drink a few beers, and I've had enough for today.